Incoming transmission. Oh no.
Welcome to TennoTalk, episode 7. I'm your host, Rebecca, and joining me is the best co-host, Jeremy.
Oh, I'm the best?
You are the best.
I'm the best.
You
the
are
best
the best
co-host.
The best
so
co-host.
It's like, congratulations, you're the best second place.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's just so we're clear here. So, the wait is over.
It's here.
It is totally here. Oh my god.
Well, it's been here for like 3 days now. But
I know, but still, it's
still.
here. It's here, and I am ecstatic that it is here.
Sorry to all of our console players.
Yeah.
Soon is all I've heard.
Yeah, soon.
But hopefully you'll be right there with us. I would like to think this week. I mean, I can't imagine them making you wait too long.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
I know when we stream, we have a lot of console players that come hang out with us. That sadly have not been able to play it yet. So hopefully soon.
Just to get this right out at the front, we're going to discuss all of the spoilers in the second half of the show. So we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to do all the spoiler stuff. So feel free to listen. At least up to that point, we won't touch on spoilers for a while. So no need to run screaming for the hills because we said the sacrifice.
Yeah, I know, right?
We got you.
Oh yeah, we got your back. Yeah. So before we even get into the sacrifice, there was actually a lot of other news and stuff that came out this week, and a lot of other stuff. Now, Jeremy and I actually didn't do much this week. It feels like
It was
like a slow week.
Yeah.
I think it's just because we were held in anticipation because they said this week for sacrifice on Monday. So we were kind of just in a holding pattern waiting for it.
A lot of endo and ducats.
Yes, and that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I was lucky, and I got to MR14 this week, which was super exciting because I got to MR13 last week. So I bumped up one more MR, which I'm really glad for. And thanks to a couple of the people on the stream and some of our good friends in our clan, Space Mom's Favorites on the PC, we were able to help me out immensely and get the Vectis Prime, which is vaulted. A couple of them had a lot of people I found out that we play with have a lot of those old relics and are more than willing to share the love with those. So we kind of went into our own little private party, and we went and got the Vectis Prime, which I have built. It is done. I haven't tried it yet.
It's pretty good.
I'm super excited. I finally have a sniper rifle. Yeah, I don't have one. So yeah,
I've heard really good things about getting Prime Chamber, I believe.
Yes.
And then you put another mod on that lowers the magazine size, so you only have one bullet, so every single shot from the Vectis has the Prime Chamber.
That would be great. That's actually really smart. I know it's really popular with Eidolon hunting.
I love it for that.
Yeah, so now that I have Volt built, so in our little group that usually goes Eidolon hunting that we have from the clan now, there's about 4 of us that usually go out when we're all online together, and I've kind of taken up the role of the Volt player in that with my shields
everywhere.
Yeah,
it's almost embarrassing.
Yeah, I put a lot of shields up. I put them on the sides and stuff. Yeah, so I have a lot of shields.
She's gotten particularly good at jumping up and casting shield in the air, so you get shields stacked on top of each other. It's pretty cool.
It keeps us safe too. But yeah,
you're so pro.
I am pro Volt.
Meanwhile, I play Harrow, and I still am having trouble. The first time I took Harrow out there, everyone in the party was like, wow, you're so good at timing that invulnerability.
And then we all died.
Once. And then since then, somebody has died every time.
I get hit with that magnetic charge because I'm just so far away that it doesn't get it. You peaked early.
Yeah, well, part of it, I think, is you run ahead to start dropping shields.
I do.
So when the wave hits me, it's all covered, but by the time the wave gets to you, the timers run out.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that I was trying to fix this week, too. So, yeah. Other than that, literally, we didn't really do much.
Yeah, I got to MR16 yesterday, finally.
Yeah, I picked up Harrow for MR grinding.
Harrow. I picked up Nyx.
Yeah.
I finally got regular Nyx, and I'll be buying Nyx Prime. She is fun. And I know it's kind of become a joke. I feel like every week I'm saying, oh, this is my new main, but
you really do.
Nyx is a lot of fun, though.
Nyx is fun. I actually ended up, I guess I did too. I bought the Prime because I was going to buy the relics because one of the guy that we usually run with, he had all of them except for one relic that had her, like, chassis or something in it. And I found 10 of them, and it was going to cost about just short of 400 plat to get all the regular intact relics, to get, like, 20 of them, I think, or something like that. Like, not a lot. And I ended up instead just buying Nyx, because Nyx Prime was cheaper than buying just those relics for a chance to get her.
Yeah.
So it was all right. So I bought her, and I'm building her. I've played her a little bit, but not much yet. So I don't know. I need more time with her, I think.
I like her quite a bit.
Yeah, she seems like she'll be really fun. She's really good at certain missions, too, I've noticed.
I'm noticing a trend. I like CC frames.
I was about to say, I think that's where you're kind of landing.
Sort of piggybacking on our last one, because I love Korra, I love Indaros, I love Nidus. It's becoming a trend now with Nyx.
Yeah, and the more random content we're playing, the more we realize, or at least the more that I realize, like, CC frames are really good.
Yeah,
like,
they're still really good.
They're still really relevant, and they really help out, especially when you're learning, I feel like. Like, as I'm learning the game, like, being able to slow stuff down and lock it in place is really helpful, so I don't just suck.
If I could ever get enough mats, ever in my lifetime, I'd get Valmont Prime.
I know.
I'm kind of like, I saw he's only like 150 plat.
Probably because you need a million Nighton.
Yeah, you need so much.
Nobody wants to buy him because he's so hard to get.
I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
Even though I won't be able to build him for a while. I'm just kind of nervous because there's been so much talk from the player base, but very little from DE about rework for him. I get the feeling that it is coming because so many others have had reworks, but I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of reworks, earlier this week, the dev workshop got posted for Titania changes and for Limbo changes, which those, as of right now, are in the game.
We didn't even have that transition set up, but we just did it.
Dang, don't point it out, just enjoy it.
So good at this.
Jesus. He had to derail me. I was really proud of that, and he had to come in and derail me. But no. So yeah, there were the Limbo changes and the Titania changes went up. The biggest one that I was really excited for was the Limbo changes, personally. And that's only, because the last week we've had Forever Viper, who's been playing with us and trolling us on Limbo constantly. So yeah, the biggest thing... I know, I love Viper so much. It's so much fun. And I did ask for that the other night. That was my fault. I did egg him on a little bit. But yeah, so the biggest part is they put the huge change into the stasis, which means now allies and everything else can function within it. So you can fire your gun, you can use abilities, you can do a bunch of stuff basically in stasis now.
We've always been able to use abilities.
Yeah, that's fair. You've always been able to use abilities, but you can actually fire your gun now in stasis, which is fantastic.
Huge. Yeah.
It's like, I think it's taken Limbo from like an annoying troll frame to a really, really good CC, because if you have that really big bubble now, that max range bubble, and that max duration stasis, then you can literally pop that on like mobile defense or defense missions, and everything that comes into it slows down, so everybody just stands there and then just shoots them from inside the bubble.
Yep.
It's a little powerful.
Yeah, he's not perfect as far as like getting rid of the troll. He can still banish players that don't want to be banished. But,
yeah, that's fair.
But I've noticed, going back to our resident Limbo player, I noticed the other day when we were doing the excavation missions with him, as soon as the excavation would end, he would banish me so I could get away.
Oh, that's nice.
That was I was like, he's doing it again. And then I sort of picked up on what he was doing. I was like, oh,
yeah,
he's smart.
I know. I kept getting banished when we were playing the Kuva Fortress, going through the Kuva Fortress, and we were doing, because we went through and did the Kuva Fortress as well. I think we did that on Sunday or something. And while we were doing it, like, I would be like the last one behind everybody because everybody was running faster than I was, and I was always stopping for stuff. So he would accidentally banish me, and I would just use that as an ability to run and not trigger a bunch of stuff, which was nice. So yeah, so this is a big change to Limbo. And they also did the change to Titania, which this actually lines up perfectly well with the Sacrifice update too, which is intense with the Exalted mods.
Yep.
So basically what they did here is they let the Dex Pixia scale off separately, essentially, and then now that it's in there, it actually has its own Exalted mods now. So is it both her Dex
It is
Pixias
both.
and the melee weapon?
The website for the workshop it only specified that her Dex Pixia would be moddable separately.
Mm-hmm.
But when it dropped, I pulled her up just to take a look at it, and her Dewata, I believe,
Yes, the sword.
it is moddable separately as well. So
Yeah, so, and once it became, it doesn't scale off of the secondary, but the Dex Pixie gets to use the secondary mods. And the reasoning why they did that was because there's no dual primaries in the game. There's no dual wielded primaries. So they let that scale off the secondaries.
The player base, I have not tested this personally. I threw a build together for her, but I haven't actually used it yet.
Yeah.
But the player base does seem to think that's a pretty big buff because the secondary mods are stronger than primary mods.
That makes sense,
the numbers go.
Because normally your secondary, you are using it obviously when you're in bleed out, and then you don't always have, that has like less ammo usually than your primary because you're not always using it.
Yeah, so the numbers are a little better.
Yeah. And probably because their starting numbers are a little bit lower as well to kind of bump them up a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly why,
sure.
but I think that's a really cool change.
It is better.
I've seen a lot of videos popping up recently on the Facebook and on the Reddit of people like talking about exalted mods. So we can go ahead and touch on those. Those did come in with the sacrifice update. So basically any frame that has an exalted weapon, those exalted weapons are now moddable. But not only are they moddable, which I think is fantastic, it means I have to go back through and do my Avara build now, and kind of rework her a little bit. And I have to actually level up my exalted weapon and format it and stuff. But the really cool thing that I thought was awesome is you can also change the appearance of it.
Yeah.
So the energy color stays the same, but like for Avara, because she's the one that I play the most when it comes to exalted weapons, the bow always had a special look when you had it out, so you knew that you had that versus if you were equipping a bow. But the cool thing about it is like you can change the colors of it. So if you want to be all green with a bright orange bow, like Artemis bow, you can. Like, it's neat.
Another thing that's cool about that is the what's her name? Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
Mesa's Peacekeepers. Mm-hmm. If you buy her deluxe skin's Peacekeepers change to these like really cool, like intricate revolver looking bits.
Well, that's cool.
And you can put those on her regular skin now. The appearance tab includes the skins for her deluxe Peacekeepers. So
oh, nice.
I don't have it. I read that on the wiki the other day, so I'm tempted to buy her deluxe skin just to test that out now.
Yeah, that would be really cool. But yeah, so I have seen a lot. There's been a couple people I've talked to about these exalted mods saying that they make it powerful, like more powerful in some cases, but also that so for some of them there's like a little bit of a nerf. A little bit. And the one that I know, at least, and like I said, this is just based off 100% opinion from people that I've been talking to about it. So this might not always be true for the number crunchers. And if you're a number cruncher, I'm sure you've done all the calculations needed for it. But preliminary thought from what I was talking to a couple of our clanmates was that with Valkyr, her exalted claws are a little bit weaker now. Because you can't scale it off of that melee mod. And I think the one that they were talking about was, I don't remember the mod exactly, but there's one mod that you could have put on your melee weapons. And when it scaled off of that, it got to use that. And it was one of the like combo duration chain multiplier crit chance things.
Was it Blood Rush?
I think it was Blood Rush, but you can't put that on her exalted weapon. So
I'm curious,
it loses that.
I'm curious why, if that's an oversight or not, or
maybe there's a reason for it.
There could be, it could be a reason.
Yeah.
The only real issue I have with it is I haven't played any of my frames except Korra, who was kind of unaffected by this because Venari was already separately moddable.
Mm-hmm.
Is it broke all my builds?
Yes.
Like I have to start over on Mesa and. I didn't even think about this but I was working on just for MR purposes. I was playing Wukong this week, and I noticed like after the update went in, I went back to get those last couple levels, and his weapon had no mods on it. And I was like, wow, this is a huge change. So
yeah, I'm wondering what that will change for Wukong. I wonder if it will make him better or worse, because I know a lot of people don't play Wukong because he's boring.
For me,
quote unquote,
yeah,
but
I don't think it'll make him better or worse, I think you'll probably mod him the same way you used to, assuming the mods are all available.
Yeah.
But I would imagine he's pretty much the same because his other 3 skills aren't affected by this.
Yeah. So along with the exalted weapons coming out with the sacrifice patch that came in, we also got a lot of new operator and companion items, especially some that went along with the sacrifice. And there's also the Twitch drops going right now, which are really cool if you haven't checked those out. So essentially what they are is it's like a limited time. It's between now and the 29th, correct? June 29th?
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. So all you have to do is watch for an hour, and it's on any of the partner streams, so any of the Warframe ones, from the 15th to the 16th, which is already passed, but until the 22nd, June 22nd and 23rd, if you watch for at least a consecutive hour of a Warframe stream, you get the Star Child Diadem, which is like an operator headpiece. It's kind of cool looking.
It's a tiara.
Yeah, it's literally a tiara on your head. It's kind of cute. And then the 17th and the 18th and the 24th through the 25th, if you watch an hour, you get the Teshin statue, which I already have that one. I got it this weekend. And Jeremy kindly donated his to the dojo, so we have it in one of our dojo rooms, and it's really pretty and really gold.
It's really nice. Yeah, I like it.
It's like a nice little bust of Teshin. It's really cool. And then the one that I'm super excited for, and I'm sad we missed it, but I'm going to get it this week, from June 18th to the 22nd and June 25th to the 29th, you watch any partner stream for one consecutive hour for a 50% chance to receive either the cherry tree glyph, which is so pretty, or a built forma. Now, you can only get one of each. So if you watch for 2 hours, you have the chance of getting both, essentially, it seems like, because it's a 50-50 chance. The cherry tree glyph is gorgeous.
It really is.
I want it. It's so pretty. If you haven't seen it yet, it's like this really cool outline that's very Lua looking. And then on the inside, it has like a black to white grayscale themed background with the cherry tree on it. So pretty.
When Play Warframe changed its Twitter and Facebook backgrounds, this is what they replaced their profile picture with.
Really? When you like data found it?
Yeah.
Or you brightnessed it?
Rob from A Gay Guy Plays did a video where he brightened the images and everything, and I'm relatively sure that this picture is
pretty.
one of them. This one's colored. I think it's got like a pink sky to it.
The tree is pink.
The tree is pink.
The tree flowers are pink.
Yeah, but it's still it was really cool. It's so pretty.
Really gorgeous. And then we had those cosmetics that dropped. So it's a companion armor that is very Umbra themed that goes on your Kuba or your Kavat, which is pretty cool and gives them the scarf.
I like it. My kitty's got a scarf.
Oh, that's so cute. I haven't tried it
awesome.
on yet, but I'm really excited to take a look at it. And then probably the thing I was super excited for was some of these operator cosmetics. So it gives you the Umbra blindfold and the Umbra hooded scarf, and then there's the other tiara, the other diadem tiara, and then earpieces. So I immediately bought the blindfold and the hooded scarf. And the cool thing about the hooded scarf is if you have it with the hood down, it leaves that scarf point up to covering your nose so just your eyes are visible. It's so freaking cool. I love it.
I immediately got the blindfold and immediately changed my operator's hair color to white so I could cosplay as 2B. I sent a tweet out about this earlier, but now I get to play as the main character from one of my all-time favorite games in one of my other all-time favorite games.
It's like a nice little crossover. It's really cool.
And I'm sure I'm not even close to the only person who's done that, but
oh my god, no.
I guarantee I'll be wearing it the longest.
Oh, hell yeah. It's really cool. I thought long and hard about that one, but I ended up buying the Barrow one this week.
Oh, yeah.
The one that he had.
That's pretty cool, too.
Yep, and going along with that, Barrow was here this weekend, and I'm better this week. I am better. I left 1,000 ducats left over, so I have 1,000 to keep building until TennoCon. And I bought the ship, I bought a mod, I bought the little operator eye thing, and I bought a couple other stuff.
I actually have my first regret
of what you
Barrow.
bought? Really?
Yeah.
What'd you buy?
So he had two shoulder items. He had the one that you picked up, I believe, that goes on the glyph slot for your shoulders.
Yeah, the little cool little
shines.
Prisma shine things. I love those.
The other one are the Prisma wing looking shoulder
Oh, I
pieces.
did not buy those.
I liked them, so I got them, and I've yet to find a frame that I like them on. Like, they look good, but I can't, There's a couple where I like the design, but I don't like the placement.
Yeah, I looked at those and I was like, I'm going to pass. If I still want to when TennoCon comes around, I'll get them then. But I passed on them.
That's what I should have done.
Yeah, but I did get that ship skin for the scimitar.
Yeah, that ship skin's pretty great.
That's so good. I love it. I love it so much. And the last news that we got this week that was kind of really like newsy is, so we know that Zephyr Prime is going away on the 19th, as well as Necros Prime, Galatine Prime, and the Tigris Prime. So the Prime access is going away, but you can still get Zephyr Prime and all the weapons, and those relics will still drop.
Yeah, she's not getting vaulted.
Yeah, she's not getting vaulted, but the Prime access is going away. Yeah. And then Necros Prime, the Galatine Prime, and Tigris Prime are getting vaulted. So it will no longer drop the relics for those. So if you don't have them, go farm them. I thankfully have the Tigris Prime and the Galatine Prime, and I'm going to get Necros Prime before they go away, because I want Necros, and I have some of his parts. So I just need to finish getting him before he's gone. But on June 19th, we get our newest Prime to come out. Melodus, and it is going to be Limbo. Shocker, shocker. Everybody kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah, we all knew he was coming.
Especially after that console tease that we got. So,
which, funny enough, turned out to not be photoshopped.
It was not. It was his actual thing.
That was real. It just wasn't finalized. I find that so funny. Like, everybody was like, oh, this is Photoshop. This is Photoshop. And then it wasn't.
It wasn't. Nope.
That's funny. That's really funny.
I will say count it a little bit, because I called one of the weapons.
You did. You could all go back to last week and look.
I did call it. That was the first weapon I thought it looked like. So, Limbo Prime, in his access, it's going to feature him, and I must say he looks very dapper in his gold thing, and I love the new skin. Holy crap.
I love the new hat.
I know, I love the hat.
It's so much better.
It's more wide-brimmed than his current one.
It reminds me very much of, if you go back, and I actually saw a tweet about this, but if you go back to Warhammer Fantasy, it looks or maybe even more time, it looks an awful lot like the Witch Hunters.
Yes, that's what I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Yep, so it comes with him. It comes with his Prime glyphs, which are going to be really pretty. And then it also comes with the Destra Prime, which is the rapier, which, awesome. I don't have the rapier yet, so I'm super excited to get it now, especially the Prime version.
So I'm excited for it because I liked the way the rapiers work, but they're so weak.
Yeah. So
well, the one I used the Destra. I didn't use the condition one.
Yeah, I didn't use the other one. And I'm glad it's the Destra that's getting it. Because I always forget the other one's name. The other rapier.
It immediately escapes my mind.
I can't think of it. But the one that I got right is the Piranha Prime. Piranha, which is a secondary weapon.
Did you see its full auto?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Because it's not a full auto regular, I don't think. I think it's a semi.
I haven't used it.
I don't remember.
I just know it's very popular.
It is such a fun, like, shotgun pistol. I absolutely love it. But it's going to be an automatic shotgun pistol. So I'm super excited for that. And that's going to be, like, the number one thing that I'm probably going to put on all my builds. Because I love shotguns, especially since I got the Vacor Heck.
Yep.
And I just want to use shotguns whenever I can. So, yeah. And then his Prime Access is coming with the Oblivia Prime Sandana, which the pictures, and we'll leave links in the descriptions for it so you guys can see it in case you see it before it comes out or want to look at it before it comes out. But yeah, the Oblivia Prime Sandana is really cool. It's another like capey one.
It's okay.
It makes it kind of goes along with that Witch Hunter theme, I think.
I think so. I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
And I think its physics in game is gonna really make or break it for me. If it's really stiff, like the one that we got for linking our accounts with Twitch, that one is really stiff, and I feel like it's made of like shower curtain plastic because it doesn't move a lot. So if this one works like that, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I wanted to have some flow, but not too much. I love
the collar. Like the top quarter of the new Sandana, because you know it's going to stick up off of his shoulders. Like he popped his collar with that hat. It's going to look great.
It makes me kind of like going along with that Witch Hunter and that like weird Victorian thing. It makes me think of the movie, the spoof movie, where he's like, I'm going to drink your blood. And then he brings it in and then you hear the pop go click in the
Dracula dead and loving it.
Yes. That's what it makes me think of. It reminds me of it. And I just think that's really funny.
He puts his cape around the woman, and you hear like a Coke
pop
can being opened. Yeah,
and he like I think at one point you see a straw come
don't
out or
remember
something.
if you see it or you just hear it.
I'm wondering.
I really don't remember.
But yeah, we're going
It's
to have to watch that again.
It's probably been 20 years since I've seen it.
I know, right? But the other thing that comes besides the 90-day credit booster and the affinity booster that comes with these is you're also going to get in the Prime Access the Rift Walker Prime Sigil. And holy crap, that sigil is gorgeous.
I really want to see it animated because looking at the picture, you know it's going to be pretty.
I know, right? And it looks like it's almost 2 color tones. So I'm wondering if one of them, like the main color and then the energy color and stuff, like I'm really excited to see how that works together.
A lot of them do that.
Oh yeah, I know.
You get to choose the color and then it picks from your energy. So the trick is going to be like giving Limbo a good energy color.
Yes, and that's going to be the hardest part is because I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I'm just going to have to try to figure out like how to make him work.
For regular Limbo, my go-to energy color is on Twilight. It's the bottom right purple. It's super dark, so his bubble is pretty easy to see through.
Nice. I'll have to look into it.
I like that one.
Yep. So yeah, those are the major things. So when the sacrifice dropped, though, besides the sacrifice coming in, and we had, like I said, all these other extra stuff, the Limbo changes came in, the Titania changes, we got exalted weapons, but they also dropped the UI, at least part of it. So it had a lot of changes so far. You can kind of see where they're going with it. The login screen is different, and I really like the login screen. It looks really cool. And then it changed sounds, so you can like change the sounds in it, which I think is really neat. But I'm still kind of on the fence about this new UI.
Yeah, I was going to say this is where we're officially going to lose our White Knight cards.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan so far. Visually, it's perfect.
Yeah,
like,
it's really
I
nice.
immediately bought the Nidus skin, so everything is like fleshy and pink and weird, and I love it. And the login screen, like you mentioned, it's awesome. You know, you sit down and you type in your password, and then you just stand up, and your ship's there. Like it's great.
That is really well done. That transition is fantastic.
If anybody tried to sell items to Barrow this weekend, I really hope you didn't sell something you were trying to save, because I almost sold some Ember Prime parts.
Ooh.
Because you have to hover over it to know what it is. The name's not on it, and like.
And the pictures are wrong. So if we've noticed that a lot, and I think they've acknowledged it, but some of like the Prime and regular pictures are not matching. So like the Lex Prime, for example, in some of the screens, the Lex Prime has the regular Lex, or the regular Lex has the Lex Prime, and they're not all matching. Like it's kind of weird.
And a lot of this, I'll kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. It'll get fixed. There's so many screens they don't have finished yet.
Oh yeah.
But there was other things too, like when you're buying something from Barrow with the new screen, it doesn't tell you how many ducats you have.
Yeah, it does. It's in the top right corner.
It wasn't for me.
Oh, it was for me.
Maybe they fixed
Maybe
that.
that came in
so
at a
that
hot
could
fix.
be something they
yeah,
fixed.
that could have been something.
I'll check that after we're done recording.
He's gone now, but next time he's back,
next
we'll
time
check
he's
it.
back, I'll take a look. And then, another thing, like this is just, I know, like okay, I'm rambling.
Yeah,
when
you
I
are
go
rambling.
to the syndicates to buy a mod, I'm
this is
used to
annoying.
just scrolling down because they're all organized by which frame they go to. Well, they're not now. Now they're just in alphabetical order.
By the name of the mod, not the name of the frame.
And that
Clear distinction.
I don't know. It's just kind of a pain to go through. Now I know like the easy fix, and I've done this, so I'm not like constantly whining about it. But is just go up to the search bar and type in the frame you're looking for, and it'll pull up all of like Nyx's augments. Like it was easy. But it's one of those things, and some of this could just be because I've called people out for this in other games that had big changes like this. It's like, oh, you're just whining because you're not used to it yet, and there could be some of this.
Yeah.
My opinion may change a little bit, just as we get more accustomed and get more screens. But overall, I'm kind of on the fence at the moment.
So I will say, when we got the new one in and stuff like that, it was kind of cool. It was the darker theme that it started with, I think.
Yeah, the black with gold.
Yeah. So it took me a good little bit to find out how to change it. And like find it. So it's in your settings under interface, I think, or display, and you click the button customize UI.
Yeah, it's right at the top of the
you just click
list.
that and then it pulls it up.
Yep.
Right now you only have 3 things that you can change. It's the background behind your character when you go to your sign-in login. It is the theme, and it is the sounds of it. So I ended up buying the Orican one personally, and I like it. I wish.
Is that the white?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
the white and gold one.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty. It does. I saw a lot of people complaining about this, that it washes out the color a little bit. Like my login screen, when I log in, especially when I'm on Volt, because Volt is so orange and white and stuff, it makes the colors look washed out on him a little bit. It's weird. So yeah, so there's 3 customizable slots though. I'm hoping that there's going to be more options to kind of mess with.
I love the new sound effects.
Yes, the new sound effects are
for
on
the menu.
point.
Yeah,
those are cool.
Those are nice.
Go ahead.
Another thing that I don't know. It's just it's a matter of getting used to this stuff. But another thing I'm not super sold on is when you're in a match with someone and you want to see like what loadout they have, you can't just hit escape
You
and
have to
see
hover
everybody.
over
Now
it.
you have to hover over it.
Yep, I know. I've seen
And
a lot of
It's
complaints.
just one more thing. Like it's just one more thing that they changed, and I'm gonna have to either get used to it or
Yeah.
not get used to it.
Yep. So right now, as of the time of recording, the only like big UI changes that are in the game right now is the login screen, the inventory screen, the Syndicate's offerings pages, so not the Syndicate page, but the offerings page, the player icon when you're seeing the party, and they implemented the new search bar, which normally, like, when you hover over the search bar and click it, I feel like sometimes I have to click it twice because it, like, highlights it, and then I have to click it, so I hate to say it, but I don't like it either, personally, and I'm really hoping that once more is implemented, I'll like it more, but as of right now, I'm sad because this was one of the biggest things I was excited for, actually, with the Sacrifice update when they said the UI was coming.
Yeah, from a visual standpoint, I love it.
Yeah, it looks
I
nice.
really do. I even like on the login with the slightly washed out colors of your frame. I even don't mind that because it feels right in the login screen to have like your
That's
background
fair,
color
yeah.
kind of shine through a little. I don't dislike that. But from a use point of view,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. It's not that I don't like it, but I'm certainly not sold yet.
Yeah, maybe once we get more. I can say I do like the inventory screen with the non-side scrolling. I
Yes.
do wish, though, as far as like the washed out stuff, I think it would help a lot more if the pictures of the items weren't washed out. Because
I can see that.
I was going through and
Yeah.
trying to sell stuff today, like sell duplicate Oberon blueprints and stuff before we were recording. And I had a lot of issues, like trying to find the right thing that I found, like, even though I know the icon that it should be, and I was looking at the icon for like the weapon that I just leveled for MR that I was turning around and selling, I'd hover over it, but then I'd have to like make sure I was hovering over the right thing, because even though I knew the icon, the colors weren't right. Oddly enough. I don't know. The whole thing's it's weird. And maybe I'll get used to it, hopefully.
Hopefully, like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of this is stuff like if you dislike stuff, don't like anger rage tweet at them, but you know, put it on the forums, like say, hey, here's some constructive feedback, here's stuff I don't like, here's stuff I do like.
Yeah, because they can work into
this,
it.
yeah, this is something like they're far from finished with this, so
Clearly they have more to do.
yeah, so definitely worth letting them know, like, you
Yeah.
know, stuff that could be fixed.
Alrighty, I think we've put it off long enough. I think we have to start talking about the sacrifice.
Is it spoiler time?
No, actually, I think we're going to do some non-spoiler discussion
Okay.
for those that haven't done it yet or they're on console.
All right,
so we
you-
will talk about some non-spoiler stuff for
You're
you.
still safe.
You are still safe. You can keep listening. So overall, I thought this was a really good implementation of a story quest. As far as being through the ringer with a lot of different games that had a lot of different updates coming in and stuff, there were very few bugs that I encountered, if any.
I had one that I can't really discuss because it's the bug itself is not a spoiler. It's just where it happened.
Yeah.
I'd rather not discuss it.
Yeah,
but
it was a weird
yeah.
frame equip issue, is
you,
what it
you
was.
can see it. Like, basically, I got to play Umbra earlier than I should have.
Yeah, essentially.
And that's all I'll say. But
Yeah, and the only things that I had is if I ever died in a mission and I went to go revive, when I died, I would fall through the floor a little bit. Not like endlessly falling, but I would like glitch underneath a little bit, and then when I revived, I'd be back on top and there'd be no problems.
I had one other bug I had last night, and it's not even related to the sacrifice. I'm just curious if this is a thing. Mm-hmm. But I noticed, and I couldn't replicate it, but it happened several times, but I couldn't like force it to happen.
Okay.
I used the Soma almost exclusively last night while we were playing. We were running some stuff. I was using Soma Prime a lot, and I would be shooting at something, and actually it happened with the Tigris once or twice, and the bullets just either weren't doing any damage or the numbers weren't popping up.
Oh, I think that was a ping issue because I was having that as well, but we were playing.
I was wondering because
Yeah.
our host was in Australia, so
Yes,
I wondered because there was
That was a
another
ping.
one. I fired the Tigris at a guy and got 1 damage tick, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, come on.
Yeah, that I can confirm right now for you. That was not a bug. That was
cool.
that was ping because I had that several times where I was shooting at stuff and then suddenly they were dead.
Okay, disregard.
Yeah,
Disregard.
that was 100% ping issue there. Because like I said, I think I was hovering between 150 and 300. I was bouncing around. I was watching my ping while we were there.
Yeah, you keep the pop up at the
Yes.
bottom, right? Yeah,
yes,
I keep
do.
that off,
yeah,
so.
I keep my ping on so that way I can know, especially because we have a lot of people that play in other countries with us. So, but yeah, overall it was awesome. I think they did a really good job. I thought it answered a lot of questions. We got a lot of really good lore implications, lore answers, and it left just enough of a cliffhanger that I'm super excited to see where they go. There's been a lot of speculation about that. I will say, though, I've actually seen a lot of shit towards this quest. Like, a lot.
So I was actually just about to jump in about something kind of related to what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I loved the quest. I thought it was great.
It was fantastic.
Answered a lot of good questions. I did not have a year since the War Within, more or less, to overhype myself.
Yep.
I think a lot of this is, so if you go back, you look at like the interview with Steve or the live stream that Steve did
on Periscope.
Released on Periscope. The point of the sacrifice really was to answer where the Warframes came from.
And what are they?
And what
they
are
are.
they? Sorry,
what they
it's
are.
what are they? And they delivered. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
delivered very well. Now, if you were because this isn't the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't feel like if this was like, oh, this is it, this is the grand finale, oh man, I'd be furious.
Oh, I'd be super pissed. Like,
Super
if this was
pissed.
if this truly was the last cinematic quest ever, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Are we getting Warframe 2?
Right.
Like, what the shit?
Right. But they did say this is the last of the trilogy that they started out to sell, not to sell, but to set up. And now they're going to transition into the next one, and the story's going to continue. So I thought it was about the same length as Second Dream, War Within, and maybe even Shades of Harrow.
Yeah, if we include some extra stuff that pops up a little bit, like as I've been playing since finishing, I think it's very similar to Chains of Harrow.
Yeah, I would say
lengthwise
it's
and
about on par.
impact-wise. Yeah. I didn't think it was too short. I didn't think anything. Like, I just thought it was great.
I thought it was too short, but that's because I would play a 300-hour single-player game set in the Warframe. Like, I would play the Skyrim or Witcher 3 equivalent of Warframe. Like, just be completely enthralled in the lore and this grand sweeping. Yep.
Yeah,
this grand
what's that word?
sweeping single-player quest. Like, I would love that. So, in that regard, I definitely thought it was short, but that's just because I want more.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was really fun. So if you weren't hanging around in Warframe the day that it dropped, so on Thursday, there was what they've now started calling the Red Text Cult. So I actually went to Lahara?
Leandra.
Basically, it's that relay.
Yeah.
And everybody basically came in and put their fashion frame all red, or black and red, or white and red. And you basically met at the center little part where Barrow Katir comes, or you met in Red Veil, in the Red Veil room, and everybody just kind of danced.
That's where I was.
You were in the Red Veil?
Atlas.
Nice.
Yep. I had a solid red, wall of red.
Nice.
And I had the TennoTalk that's the long cape.
Cool.
So I was just like this wall of red.
Oh, that's awesome.
And,
I took Volt Prime. I went in with Volt.
Hung out under the tree in the Red Veil room.
Nice. Yeah. When I first got to the relay, there were not that many people there, and we all started meditating, and then we started saying a prayer to the red text. And it was absolutely hilarious. And it was actually really cool to see Rhino Primes, or not, Excalibur Primes. Sorry, excuse me. I don't think I'd ever seen an Excalibur Prime before, and I probably saw at least 20 while I was sitting there for an hour. Like, holy shit. It was so cool. I've never seen that many before, but it was really neat to see. And then about an hour, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more before that happened, Steven went live on Periscope, which is some app. And he was actually in Vancouver, and he was like networked in essentially to the chat and was giving us updates on how close it was and what they were fixing and stuff and answering questions. So we kind of got to see that while we were also in game, and at that point I was back in my orbiter just waiting for the red text to come.
Yeah.
And the red text delivered.
Yes, it did.
Oh my god, it delivered. And it delivered through the hot fixes too.
Yep.
It was so
the whole day worth of red text was good.
Oh my goodness, it was so great. So yeah, it just started like the first thing that popped up said "Give me your energy," and I was like, energy. It's happening.
It was so good.
It was so great, and the red text just kept going. It was whoever writes those at DE, you are my favorite person. Like, I just love you.
Yeah.
It's so great. I've never like been informed of hot fixes and updates in a more awesome fashion than what you guys deliver. So yeah, thank you.
It was pretty glorious.
Yeah. Other than that, something non-spoilery that we can talk about is Umbra.
Yeah.
Because Umbra, we can talk about the frame itself, just not any of the actual stuff. So Umbra Excalibur. It's pretty much Excalibur, except for one of the skills is a little bit different. His blind.
Yep. So instead of
howl.
The blind, it's a howl. It still does a blind, but now it also resets the sentience when they and I guess the stalker. Someone mentioned that it resets his resistance as well.
Because you can use your operator mode to zap his resistance as well.
Yeah.
He has the same kind of mechanics.
But the downside, I didn't. I mean, no spoiler to anybody who's listening here, but I don't play a lot of Excalibur. So the cast time on the Howl is a little longer. I don't really notice it.
I don't notice it, but he's the first Excalibur frame I ever have. I don't even have regular.
If you were used to firing off radial blind in like oh shit moments, then I imagine you probably do notice that it's longer. I did not.
Yep. Yeah. I will say, after playing with Excaliburs before, he does feel different. I feel like he looks like his animations look just different enough that it's refreshing.
I would agree with that, yeah.
So I'm really... and we can go ahead and... No, we cannot talk about that. I was going to talk about his passive, but we will talk about that later.
We can, I think. It's okay. Because they're going to see it. Like, so when you're in operator mode, his passive is that the frame itself continues to run around.
Yeah, so he's the first one that, like, when you hop out, he'll actually run around and hit stuff for you and stuff like that, too. Which is really cool. I think it's a really interesting passive. Because it kind of gives you like a second one. Now your operator can't do much.
Yeah, I don't spend enough time in operator mode, so really all I notice is when I'm doing my dash for the energy dash, I just notice that he's not where I left him. But regardless, when you go back into your
it goes where you're at.
Frame, it comes to you, so it doesn't disrupt anything. So
yeah, it was really freaky the first time I did it when I wasn't in a mission and I popped out and I was like, what? Why is he moving? And then I actually looked at the passive and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Also, speaking about Umbra, the Umbra scarf.
The Umbra scarf.
Oh, that scarf.
It's great.
I love it. So the cool thing about it is when you get Excalibur Umbra, you can choose his skins. You can actually change into his regular skin as Umbra. So all of the Excalibur Tennogen and stuff like regular like DE versions of skins and stuff are all available to him. But any skin that you equip will always have the scarf on it. So you'll always know if you look at an Excalibur that it's an Umbra.
Which
he'll always have the scarf.
I have to say, one of my biggest gripes with Excalibur is, he's like the perfect blank slate for Fashion Frame. Except he never really doesn't look like a blank slate to me. Like all of his skins, like they left enough open spot for like the armors and stuff. So now all of those skins that he has, like especially the anniversary one, the Dex skin.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful on him because he's got those scarves that help break up sort of the monotony of the skins, I guess. I don't know. He looks
And
so good.
That scarf design was fantastic.
It is very nice. It has, talking about the Limbo's cloak earlier, the scarf has great physics.
I will say, when I was doing some fashion frame, I had trouble with the sandanas because the scarf will like clip through it. So depending on what sandana you run, which was great for me to use my new favorite one, which more props out to the Tenno. I don't know who made it, and I will totally give you credit in the show notes. I promise. You were my favorite. You were on every single fashion frame I ever do. Literally every single character has it. It's the Mondua. The Mondusia? Mondura? It's the spiky one that looks like that they animated a while back, so it moves, the shark fin things. Oh my god, I love it so much.
Yeah, I noticed.
And it looks so good with the scarf.
I noticed the scarf lays just to the side of that one. It was perfect because I got it for Nidus.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's on all 3 of my Nidus skins now. But also, I believe his game name is Operative Shift, but it's Rob from A Gay Guy Plays. Designed the triangle with the circle behind it.
Oh, that one looks good.
And it's like projected off of your back so the scarf doesn't clip through it.
Oh, that's perfect.
So it's perfect. So that's the one I'm using.
Nice. That's a really good one. So yeah, and with Umbra, we got some cool drops in the marketplace as well. We got the Umbra armor.
Yep.
Which I use one piece of it. I usually use one of the shoulders, which was really cool. The Umbra shoulder armor.
I like the shoulders and the chest. I actually found a few frames that the leg pieces look good.
I don't like the leg pieces. It looks like I should just be running around and doing like knee kicks at things.
Yeah. No, I totally
totally
get it. But there are a few frames that it works on. For some, like Necros Deluxe skin with Necros's agile animation, so he's knelt down a little bit, so the knee angles, it looks good.
I'll take your word for it. I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, just accept it.
I'll just accept it. Yeah. No,
Hydroid, it looks good because the way his boots come up, because he's got like pirate boots on, so it's got that little overhang, and the way it comes up over his knee, that piece comes out right where it like splits in half, so it looks like natural. Which looks really good.
I'll take your point. I don't have either of those frames, so I'll have to take your word for it.
You're gonna
I just
need
don't
one
like
of them, by the way.
Why?
For polymer bundles. If we're gonna farm this week, you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be getting
need
one of them. I'll play the other.
Okay, we'll figure out which one I got. But you also got a Captura, which is themed after the quest, and holy crap, is probably my favorite. I think it actually will take over Lua Balcony for me. It's a good Captura.
Yeah, it's really good.
And if you've been looking anywhere, you will see awesome, amazingly fantastic Capturas coming out with it right now. It's so good. The options that you can do, especially with reshaders, so pretty.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with it. I thought it was a great quest. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had such a knee-jerk reaction to it. Like, I think we didn't even talk about it between the two of us until at least like Saturday, which we had to take a whole couple days to discuss it.
Yeah, I needed a minute.
Yeah, I think in the next couple days, we literally just did endo farming and MR grinding because I couldn't handle anything that took a lot of thought after doing it. Because
it was good.
It was great.
It was really good.
It was everything I hoped for. I wish that there were more answers, but I think I can admit that I was overhyping myself and thinking that this was going to answer all the questions I had, but that really wasn't the scope of the quest. So, the quest introduced a couple people and like a couple outside players, but it really wasn't what we were there for. And I'm okay to admit that, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, it was a very good exposition dump because they had a lot of storytelling elements that they needed to get out of the way before we continue the narrative.
Yep. There was a lot of I feel like this was a really good baseline. This is all of the stuff that you need to know before we can get into the really screwed up stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like without getting into spoilers, the direction that we're heading, which might be location, that like everything that's come before it all needed to be set in stone and confirmed before we can move forward.
Yep.
So this was a really great end to that, I thought. Because a lot of this was stuff that people had assumed was true. Mm-hmm. So it was just really good for them to go around and confirm it.
Yeah, it was really nice to finally get those answers.
And they did it in a very good way. And another thing I guess we could mention is the voice acting.
Yes.
A lot of good stuff from Ortis, a lot of creepy stuff from Ortis, and your operator had a ton of dialogue.
Oh yeah, the operator's voice, like the 4 voices that you can choose from for your operator, were fantastic. I use the Raven is the actual voice of my operator.
I think I'm using Raven too.
I loved
I might
it.
be using
It was-
the other. I forget the name of the other.
I only picked
but I think
Raven.
I'm using Raven.
I think you went to Raven, but
Is
yeah,
Raven the happy girl or the serious girl?
the happier one.
Okay, yeah, I'm using Raven.
Yeah, like the more lighter one, I think. So yeah, the voice acting was great. I loved their implementation of different styles of interactions on how you got narrative, which we'll talk about a little bit more later in the spoilers about specifics. But I thought they did a really good job. There was some really smooth transitions between gameplay straight into cutscenes that I was very impressed with. Thinking that's like the stuff you see when you go into like the newer games, like most recently Ghost of Tsushima, the new Sucker Punch game. When you watch the gameplay trailer from E3, how smooth it goes from watching the cutscene in the vistas to getting behind the character play. It had some really good moments that were very akin to that I was like, oh, DE, you get it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, holy
That's
shit.
always good to see.
It freaked me out a little bit, and it was great. So, yeah. All right, I think we've talked about all we can, because now I really just want to keep talking about sacrifices.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we will go ahead and cut this now and let you guys know, and I'll reiterate it once we get back from the break, that this is going into spoiler territory. It is a listen at your own risk. If you haven't seen anything about it and you don't want to see anything about it or hear anything about it, feel free to just kind of skip forward and listen to the end for any updates and stuff like that, because we have some behind-the-scenes updates to talk about too. And other than that, hang tight with us, and we will be right back. And we're back. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging on.
Oh, spoilers.
I know. Finally, we get to talk about this, because we
Why?
didn't even allow spoilers on our stream on Friday, because we have console players and stuff, and we didn't want to be rude to them, and we told them we'll talk spoilers this week. But yeah, so spoilers. This is your last chance to turn back before we get started.
Yep.
But damn. I think my first reaction after that quest was, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry to curse, but like that was my reaction.
Yeah.
Wow, this was hefty. So I think some of the biggest thing was Mom, Space Mom.
Space Mom. Yeah,
I can say it.
She was kind of terrifying.
She is a sentient. She
Which
really
we
is.
knew because she's Nata, but still like.
But we weren't sure if she
Yeah.
was actually Nata or if she was being controlled by Nata.
So-
There's like this weird confirmation between the two.
Yeah, so now I need to know, like, did Barrow, like, transform her? Or, you know, like...
Barrow.
Not Barrow.
I was
So,
like,
yeah,
wait.
it's all Barrow's fault. Yeah,
Blame-
totally.
blame Barrow.
Did Ballas, like, transform her? Did he have anything to do with that? You know, like, what exactly happened in that gap? When she leaves us, she looked like Space Mom.
I know, right?
And then now she's back, and...
I mean, she still kind of looked like Space Mom, but
yeah,
just
there
Space
were like
Mom with
broken
more
shards
attachments.
of her face thing
Yeah.
just sort of floated around, like,
yeah.
and these weird like glowing spaghetti arms that picked Ballas's body up.
Yeah, I know.
Which, and then, you know, the other thing is we don't even know is like, did Ballas die?
There was a huge post about that I saw on
Yeah.
the Reddit about is Ballas actually dead? Because we didn't get a death rattle, we didn't get a fulfilling conclusion. We just stabbed him, and then Space Mom arrived.
Although I have to say, one of those stand up and like pump your fists while you're cheering when Umbra stabs, you know, you stab him and then you get out of the suit and finish the stab. Oh my god, I just like I got chills. I
It
was
was so
ready to
good.
just scream. It was
It
so
was
good.
so good.
It was so good.
I mean, we can keep saying that as many times as we want. So the other one is I'm pretty sure that there's the full confirmation that the original Warframes were people.
Yeah, at first I actually disagreed with Rebecca. I was like, well, there's nothing you can really point to that says that all of them, all of the originals. But then there is something like that because Ballas in one of not the flashbacks, but the Vitruvian audio stuff that was going on, he actually says that the originals were all either volunteers and some were forced. So, yeah.
Yeah,
so they all used to be people.
Which was really interesting, the fact that it seemed like, especially in those flashbacks where you're laying in the bed and you can't talk anymore as you're getting the infested blood and stuff and you're making your transformation, that, Ballas speaks in your head and says that this is going to be your last memory of Isa and everything like that. And then that basically that's the memory that he's reliving, which is really interesting to the spoiler that Steve dropped on the Ars Technica interview last week about the Ayaton sculptures, about how those might hold a memory. So I'm wondering if after the issue with Umbra and how they had to end up killing Umbra as like the creation because he was living with that memory, maybe because of the transformation you still have that memory, but maybe they found a way to take those memories out and stick them in the sculptures, and which is why maybe you can't remember anything as a Warframe anymore.
Could be.
I don't know. I'm really intrigued. And I got a statue from Sorties. Or no, I found one. We found a statue while we were running something, and I plugged stuff into it, and I was like, oh, I could sell you for Endo. I need it. And I was like, but I can't. I must keep you. So I ended up keeping it. But yeah, I just want to know more about that. That's like what I'm thirsty for at this point.
Yeah, so I think there's a hidden thing, and maybe not everybody's even seen this yet. At some point after you finish the quest...
Oh, we're going to talk about that now?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I'm moving right into that.
Oh, that's fine. This scared the shit out of me.
You get a dialogue with the... some people say it's the man in the wall.
The evil operator.
Yeah, but it's the evil operator on your ship. And I actually have the transcript here. It says, how do you feel, kiddo? You said, I killed him, Isa. And he says, is that how you remember it? Yes. Good. And that's it. But so I think this actually has some very scary implications on our Tenno. Because if you look at the order that this all happened in and everything, when we hopped into
Umbra?
No.
Oh.
Into Rel's quest. And we're dealing with Rel. Suddenly his man in the wall transfers to us. Like it's on our ship. And now Umbra is, a thing, and we've sort of melded with him. And you read this, and your operator says they killed him. You've taken on that memory and that guilt. So if you combine the pseudo PTSD that we inherited from Rel, and then now we've got these memories, and we believe that they're ours at this point, is there some sort of bleed through? Is there the LARP community calls it bleed, but is there some sort of holdover from putting our conscious into their bodies? Are we absorbing stuff from them that we don't know? And that could be really interesting to see that explored going forward.
It could be really interesting, especially with when you're doing the second dream in the War Within quests and you're remembering a lot of your memories of what happened, if those memories are actually yours or not.
Right.
Or if you're recalling Warframe memories.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So
There's
this
a weird
has all
thing.
sorts of potential implications here. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yep. So the other thing that we learned was when we were going through those memories and you were in Umbra laying down when you did your transference into him and you were laying in that bed while you were getting the injections and stuff, and Ballas was being super terrible and telling you I'm not going to kill him, you're going to kill him, and you're playing that stone game. So for one, I suck at that game. He beat me every single time. I am awful at it. It's very similar to Othello, if you've ever played the game Othello. But I'm good at that game, but I was bad about this one. Ballas was too good for me. But you see his son, Isa, who is a Dax, and I saw that helmet on him. And I looked over at him and, like, looked at him, and it did that little, like, zoom in. And for a second, before it said his name, I was like, oh, my God, is that Teshin? Is that Teshin?
I thought at first, like, we were going to find out that Isa was Teshin.
I know. I thought about it. But he's a Dax, which was really kind of cool. And, like, you get the photo at the end to hang up in your orbiter or in your wherever you would like. I think I'm going to hang mine in the clan dojo. So, yeah, like, that whole quest was just intense. And then you, like, end up killing him. Like... I don't know.
Yeah.
I think another thing that really freaked me out about it was the Vitruvian code thing that you find that basically explains was Ballas's letter of why he gave up our location of the Tenno's location to Hunhao.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one who gave us up.
It was really interesting that
like,
he's the one that like that's how found us, that started this whole thing.
Yeah, it was because Ballas literally turned us over, which we had a little mini discussion about this earlier. It has some interesting implications for what Stalker might be.
Yes.
Because if Hunhao got told from Ballas where the Tenno were and where the remaining of the Zaraman were, you know, and then the one who did it was Space Mom, who's actually a sentient and Hunhao's daughter. It'd be, and like, you know, we were told to go like protect us in like the first dream or whatever that quest is.
Second dream or Nata,
I think. I don't know, where you first find your Tenno and bring them back to the ship. That quest where you have to go basically save the Tenno.
Yeah, that's the second dream.
Okay, I get them so confused after playing all of them.
We did Nata and second dream at like the same time.
Yeah, it's literally back to back. But the interesting thing that I found about that was if Ballas was the one that told Hunhao where we were, I think it would be really interesting if, like, that's the Stalker is the one that didn't get away, because Hunhao was talking to the Stalker. So maybe, like, he got to that Tenno first.
Yeah.
And took that Tenno and then came back for the rest of us, and that's when Space Mom caught him and sent us to go save ourselves, essentially. So what is the Stalker? Like, is he an Umbra? Like, is he just a frame that remembers it? But in that quest, Hunhao says, look at them because they're what you should be, and you despise them for it. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe there is a Tenno there.
Could be.
I don't know. It's just...
Or it could be something like Umbra, because I guess there's been loose confirmation that there will be more Umbras, but not every frame is going to get an Umbra. But I guess there was some loose confirmation that there might be more coming.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I know you sort of alluded to this, but what if this has to do with Stalker mode?
Yeah, I did. When we were watching that Periscope, about every other question was about Stalker mode, because it's something that they talked to, and they said that the framework was in there. So I thought it'd be really cool if, you know, however we deal with that and we find out more about the Stalker and what he is, it would be really cool if, like, by going in and, like, either severing that connection to the Tenno or helping that Tenno or doing the same thing like what we did with Umbra, that would be a cool way for us to get the Stalker. So we wouldn't actually be able to play it, but you could queue into the mode of Stalker mode where everybody, you know, picks whether you want to be the person fighting the Stalker or the Stalker, and it randomly generates you into a game where it's like, you know, 1 versus 10 or something like that. Yeah. You know, or the, they had a name for it in TF2. The Saxton Hale bosses. So one person's like the beefed up super and everybody else is trying to beat him. So yeah, it would be really cool to do that. Now I hope they wouldn't implement that like a Dark Souls invasion style, because I would get super annoyed.
I can see the community wanting that at first, because when you first said like you hoped they didn't do that, my first thought was, no, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but I get tired of it.
Yeah, at some point like it would get old, like, you know, Stalker would show up all the time and you gotta wonder, like, you got to be ready for it. Like, is this going to be the NPC one so I can get an easy drop, or is this going to be another player? Because some people don't like PvP at all, and that's kind of why, you know, Warframe's community is largely PvE. So
exactly.
Is like, if Stalker mode was like Dark Souls Invasions, I don't know that it would do very well.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it'd be really cool to add to the Conclave.
Yeah.
Because that'd be a nice boost to the
Yeah,
Conclave.
That'd be cool for the
Because
Conclave.
the Conclave is really hard to get into right now. I haven't even tried. So yeah, that would be really cool. I don't know. There's just so much in this quest that I'm still processing it. Like, I feel like a lot of the, like, there was, like, the in-your-face stuff, and then there was a lot of really subtle lore things in this quest.
So,
like,
one of my favorite moments, and you sort of hinted at this before, was the cutscene to non-cutscene, or the gameplay to cutscene moment.
Yes.
You equip Umbra for the first time, and he busts out of your, like, it's almost like your inventory screen. He busts out of it and chokeholds the operator all of a sudden. Like,
yeah.
No, you didn't just try to transfer it in me. Like, it was scary. Like, that scared me. I was like, what is happening?
Because as soon as, like, it said equip Umbra, and I equipped him, and I looked at it, and I was like, ooh, I saw, like all, like, the Exalted weapon, and I went to go click on it. I'm like, wait, and I did a couple clicks, like, why couldn't I do this? And then the screen started shaking, and then he howled, and I was like, what is happening? And then he grabbed my operator out of thin air and choke-held me.
So cool. And incidentally,
scary.
that's where the bug happens. If you don't go back to the thing, this is on the wiki as like a known bug. If you don't go back and switch what Warframe you're using, you get to keep Umbra for the next quest.
I didn't. And I didn't have that bug.
It's not 100% guaranteed,
100%.
but that's how the quest after that is the one I played Umbra on earlier than I should have been able to.
Yeah, because she was Umbra v Umbra.
Yep.
Which was absolutely funny. But
it was funny.
Yeah, it actually, because I was playing Volt, and it actually did come back and put Volt on for me.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said before, though, there was just so much in this that I'm still, like, thinking about it. You know, like, ugh. And the tea set kind of makes a little bit more, because I know when you're doing those flashbacks, Ballas mentions about drinking tea. Like, he makes some quippy comic about tea, so I'm like, oh, the primed tea set, you asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So there's a little bit of a link there. There's just so much. So going back, I guess, to what you said, though, before about the non-spoilers, about the different planets or different location. I didn't know this, but someone was talking about it, and once they started talking about it, I remembered. So right before Space Mom leaves, at the very end, she says, Mom, Dad, I'm coming home? Or something to the effect, or we're coming home.
It was something about her mother.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everybody's saying Space Grandma. And
yeah,
Hun Hao, obviously.
So it's looking like, we don't know, obviously there's been no, like, hard confirmation on any of this, but I don't know if it'll be, like, I suppose, like, perfect world, we're going to go to the solar system that the sentient planet is in, Teo.
Yeah.
And in that solar system, we'll get, all the new planets they're going to give us. I would say the budget version is we'll get the sentient planet as the next planet. And I was thinking, this is sort of unrelated, I guess, but what they absolutely could do going forward is instead of waiting to release, like, one giant solar system, they could give us a planet at a time for, like, 2 years.
Yeah.
Give us a planet every 3 to 6 months, just kind of dropping them in as like regular updates, and use that to keep the story going.
Yeah, that would be fair.
So, because there's a lot of other online games that have done that. They'll tie a map to, like Guild Wars 2 did this, they do this for the Living World updates. When the Living World takes you to another map, they're like, well, let's just toss that map in there. And then they kind of, like, at the end of the season, you've got 6 or 7 new maps to play on, so they could easily tie the planets in like that.
Yeah, and they've been really, in the past, it seems like they've done a lot of giving lore without cinematic quests. So you could easily do that, especially through, like, the Cephalon fragments and stuff like that. Do that as a way to give lore and dialogue when you're on these places, and items to go hunt for and stuff like that, to give that lore without needing a cinematic quest for every planet.
Right.
So it'd be really cool. I really hope they do that, because for me, I think it'd be really cool to get another solar system.
It would be.
I think that would be really neat.
I would love that.
Especially because they mentioned before that the void is the way that we travel. So I think it'd be really cool if before they even do that, we get quests kind of explaining what the void is and exploring that, and then through that we get to Teo, to the sentients. Like, it seems like a nice little projection for me. So I think the next quests hopefully will pick up that. I was kind of sad that we didn't get anything about the Man in the Wall, but again, I remembered that this was more about the Warframes.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if the Man in the Wall is simply just the projection of the evil operator on our ship, and that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Because the man in the wall could easily be like the manifestation of the PTSD that Rel was being haunted by, and that's how it manifested to us now that we've inherited that
That's fair.
darkness that he had. And I say that because now we believe that we killed Isa, so we've absorbed that as well.
Yeah,
so
we've
I'm
taken
wondering if the man in the wall like isn't a thing so much as just now we have this projection on our ship of what Rel saw, and just we see it differently than he did. It's not the man in the wall for him, or for us. I mean, it's not the man in the wall. It's the evil operator.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. That feels kind of lame to me a little bit.
see, I don't think so, because I think it builds into a bigger picture. Like it becomes like as we go and we experience all these things and we meet these other people and we keep like absorbing these things, like why are we, it starts to get into the question of like,
Why are we sponges?
yeah, like are we sponges? And why when we create these links to these frames, especially like Umbra or Rel, I know is not a frame, but still like are we like taking parts of them?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I say that because the Tenno themselves was well aware that the vision that they saw was in the past. They were experiencing Umbra's memory, and yet now after that little quip between you and the Dark Operator, you believe you did that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's lame if it goes somewhere. Like if they continue to explore this, then I think that makes the man in the wall infinitely scarier because it's you.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Ooh, ooh.
And now we get a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, exactly. But no. I don't know. I will just harp back to to the operator voice line. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. And I don't think really anybody was expecting that, because normally the cinematic quest, besides the first time you see the Dark Operator, after that you might occasionally see him pop back up, but I haven't seen him come back yet. And then out of nowhere for that to come back in like days later, like the next day after I finished the quest, and suddenly my operator's saying that, that was really well done.
Yeah.
Major props, and I hope there's more like it. I hope maybe like a month out from completing the quest, there's another one that drops.
That would be really cool.
That would be so cool. Yeah. So yeah.
So I guess a couple other smaller things. Ortis. When Ortis Suddenly is speaking to you with clarity
and calls you Star Child.
Calls you the Star Child.
Ugh, creepy.
Part of me wondered, is this where did Ortis just snap? Did the crazy personality just take over? But I have to say, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't keep that Ortis, because
Really?
I loved it.
It was really cool. I liked the voice actor.
You could tell it was the same voice actor, but he was playing a new character almost, and it was really, I don't know, it was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that
and
was
I liked
really
the
neat.
new nickname being called Star Child.
I thought it was creepy as hell. I did not like it.
It was creepy, but
Just
I liked it.
call me Operator. Don't call me Star Child. Why are you calling me Star Child? No, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was like, I literally thought back to Octavia's quest when he starts getting infected a little bit and starts talking weird.
Definitely.
No.
But your operator
no.
did that to him in this one. It was the decisions the operator made that,
Still, no. No, I still don't like it.
I will say, though, that change to Ortis actually took me finally to go through the codex to listen to some of Ortis's backstory in the voice samples.
Yep.
And, I need more of that.
Yeah.
Because that was really interesting. There's some really fascinating revelations in there.
Yeah, I started listening from the beginning, and I had a few that I had to skip because I don't have them yet. And by the time I got to the ones past the ones I didn't have, the picture had changed and the voice had changed. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stop now because I need more answers.
Yeah.
I had so many questions, so I don't know. just man, the lore in this game. Fuck.
It's good. It's surprisingly good for a game that started shipping without any lore in it whatsoever.
And technically still in beta.
That's technically still in beta, yeah. But like when it first came out, like there wasn't an emphasis on lore. They just wanted you to be space ninjas invading ships full of bad guys, and now they've actually created a very powerful narrative here. I'm impressed.
And they've done it really well, like how they've implemented a lot of it. And this quest is another one to mark up, like, wow. Like, I'm impressed. 10 out of 10. Cannot wait till I can replay it and listen to all the voice lines. And
at first, like at absolute first finish of the quest, I was slightly disappointed in the story. But I very quickly sort of course corrected myself. Because I realized I wasn't disappointed in the final story. I was disappointed in my predictions weren't true. So once I sort of kind of got that bias in check and was like, okay, this is the story that they gave me, I was just completely blown away.
Yeah.
I love the direction they took, even though it's not necessarily the direction I wanted it to take.
Yeah, I'm happy with the direction. I think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and some of my predictions were true. I did think that, that the suits were going to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Quote unquote, they were people.
Yeah, they were people at one point. I would like to explore a little bit more of like what happens. Like, I guess they didn't touch on it a lot, but I guess the Heimlith infestation is what wipes their memories, not the transference. So that sort of wasn't what I thought it would be. So now I need more lore on what the Heimlith is.
Yes.
I need more of like, what is the infestation? How does it work? Why is it all over our ship? I still they say it's for like life support functions, but I still need more than that.
Yeah. Which, another thing that was really cool, and I've seen it finally getting shown around, the concept art of the ships.
Yes.
That it is, at least from where they looked at it, like your ship is only a tiny little part of it. And there's more to it. So I'm really intrigued to see if they do start giving us more ship and more places. And we were talking about it last night. That would be really cool if there was like a bay of all your warframes, so you could walk through and there was a line down either side of the wall of all the warframes you owned.
Yep, like Tony Stark looking at all of his suits.
Yeah, and like another one that's like weapons and stuff, so you could like look at them and it'd be like a really cool display. And the collectionist in me wants every single frame to be there.
Yeah.
So I could have all the frames and, all the weapons hanging up and stuff. I think it would be really neat. I don't know. So there's just a lot more. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next quest.
Yes.
Even though I know it's going to be a while because we have Venus. But I know Venus is going to have some good story there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Venus still. But I'm probably more excited about the next major...
Where we go from here.
Yeah, the next major quest line. And I know we don't even have Venus yet, and I'm already looking forward to like a new planet. But I'm really looking forward to the potential of the next solar system.
Yes. I'm very excited about that. I think it would be really cool.
I think the coolest part about that, in my opinion, is they could keep the tile sets for all of the ships. Like if we're on a Grineer ship, it obviously would still look like a Grineer ship. But if they go to a fictional solar system, they can decide what the planets look like. So we could get some really interesting art pieces out of these new planets. Like they could go with like, there's very little purple in the game if you take like the player options out. So you could go with a planet that has like purple grass, because why not purple grass? Like you could get weird with it on these other planets.
And I mean that's my one sad thing is like with Saturn and Jupiter, most of those you're on ships. So the tile sets start to look a little bit similar. Neptune, you're underwater because it's like a water-ish sort of planet. Io, it's frozen, but you're inside outside a little bit. So I think it'd be really cool to have more dynamic choices if they
Yep.
got to make their own solar system too.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Plus,
Yeah.
they get to start from scratch. I know a lot of the base solar system for this game was made years ago, so they've had a lot of repeat tile sets. So
Yep.
a new solar system is essentially a clean slate.
Yeah, basically rebuild all over again.
And then it's also really refreshing in the parachute interview.
Periscope,
I was close.
where he was live streaming.
Where he was live streaming.
That's Periscope.
He did confirm that his intention is not to have a Warframe 2.
Yes, I think that's
His-
the biggest answer
Now,
they gave.
Obviously, that doesn't make it set in stone. That's not saying there will never be a sequel, that there, you never know what the future holds, but that his intention is not to have a sequel, but to continue expanding onto the first game. That warmed my heart.
Yeah, 'cause I think he made a face when someone said, "Is there ever going to be a Warframe 2?" And he's just like, "Why would we make a second one when we can just
Yeah.
add to this one?"
Yeah, and that was really cool. Like, I liked seeing that because I've invested a lot of money for not even having 100 days in the game yet, and
Yep.
I hate the constant comparisons here, but I'm gonna make another one anyway. I know I'm just as guilty as everybody else, but it does, it reminds me of Destiny and the slap in the face feeling that a lot of players had when they said, we've got a 10-year plan for Destiny. And then 6 months later, it was like, well, it's a 10-year for the franchise, but the first game is already over.
Yep.
And it was like, that kind of sucked.
Yeah,
Hearing
Rise of Iron comes out a week later. Destiny 2 in the
Yeah,
works.
like
And you're
that-
like, I just spent $60 on a new
yeah,
thing.
that really sucked. So it's really cool to say, or to see that whether it happens or not, it's not something that he is considering at this point. He, the focus is let's keep it just at the one game, and that's really cool. Like,
Oh, yeah, definitely cool.
I know that's not really a spoiler discussion, but
It was part of the Periscope. So, yeah,
circle back around to it.
circle back around. So, yeah. If you guys had, like, what lore did you guys catch that we didn't? Or I guess or not even that we didn't, but, like, I'm really curious what your guys' favorite parts were. What did you like in this quest? What did you not like? I think there's enough in there to satisfy most people with it, except for the ones, that might have been waiting longer than we have. I could see that.
Yeah, I think, and not to down talk to those people, but I do think that the people who are saying that it was too short or something, I wonder if it was just a hype thing, if they'd been looking forward to it for a long time. So when the reality sets in and it only took about 90 minutes to finish the quest, is that why they felt like they didn't get enough? Is because looking at it from my perspective, War Within, Second Dream, Nata, and Chains of Harrow all seemed to be about the same length, more or less, and they all seem to have about the same narrative weight to them. I still think it's hard to beat Second Dream for that reveal that you were actually a tiny space child.
Yes.
That's hard to top, and then War Within, it added to that a little bit, and I think Sacrifice continued to add to it. So Second Dream may still be the best of the three, but I would say Sacrifice and War Within are neck and neck. Chains of Harrow is my favorite.
Well, yeah, of course, but that's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I could say, and this did come out in the Periscope where he was live before the Sacrifice dropped, that originally planned, Sacrifice was not going to have Umbra.
Yeah.
So if that changes your perspective at all and you didn't know that, just keep that in mind too when you're thinking about the quest, because it wasn't originally supposed to have Umbra. The community just got so excited and asked constantly for it that they decided to change the entire plan for the quest to include Umbra.
I would love to read the original script.
Of what was going to happen?
I guess maybe not even script. I don't know how far he got, but I would love to read the synopsis of what the Sacrifice was before
Umbra,
because Umbra was undoubtedly the biggest part of this quest.
Yeah, I wonder if they just shifted it so Umbra was able to tell that story for them a little bit.
Yeah.
But then how much did that originally change Umbra?
Right.
How much did Umbra change from what he was going to be? So yeah, but like I said, overall 10 out of 10. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
I
thought
loved it.
It was fantastic.
I can't wait till I can replay it. But yeah, so let us know what you guys think. I'm really curious if your predictions were right or your predictions were wrong. We were kind of a little A, little B for us here. We had some things we were right, some things we were wrong about.
Overall, I was wrong, but I was right about a few things.
Yeah, I actually
like
had a
baseline,
couple.
like conceptually, I was right about a few things.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But yeah, and our only other thing, I guess, before we sign off for the week, we do have our website up and running.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you guys would prefer listening to on a website versus, like while you're gaming, or prefer not to use a podcasting app, you can go to our website now. You can also get information on the Capture contest we have going live. Again, that Capture contest, if I can even say it, Capture contest. The cutoff and the deadline is June 29th. All the information is listed on the front page of the website. And we are also going to be doing Weapons of the Month. So each month we're going to be picking a weapon and playing it and building it and trying it with different frames, and then just kind of giving our thoughts of the weapon and what we thought worked, what we thought didn't work, whether we liked it, whether we didn't like it, what would we rather use, etc. And you can also find some fashion frames on there too. We're going to start going through our fashion frames, so you can send those in as well, and we might showcase some of them of community fashion frames for that, the really cool ones that people like to run, or this is my fashion frame for our Atlas to make them look like One Punch Man. Things like that. So yeah, and that website is TennoTalk.com. Nice and simple.
nice and easy.
Nice and easy to remember. So yeah, is there any other news that we have or anything we need to before we sign off and we go play?
Nope.
Yeah.
I think that covers it.
I think that covers it.
We've been talking long enough.
Wait, there is one more.
Uh-oh.
So, thank you guys for all of the follows on Twitch. Holy crap.
How could I forget?
I know, right? So, this coming Friday, so let me get the date for you guys. It will be Friday the 22nd, June 22nd. We will be doing a giveaway because we hit our 50 follower goal. So our giveaway is we are giving away a Vaulted Prime.
Oh, what?
Yes, we are.
Vaulted Prime.
A Vaulted Prime. We have the Prime. The only requirements is that you are a follower, you're on while we're on, and you have to be on PC. Sadly, we don't have codes to give this type of stuff out. We are literally going to have to trade it to you. But yeah, come hang out with us on Friday, June 22nd for your chance to get a Vaulted Prime. We have it. Like I said, I'm super excited to give it out, and we're probably going to do a couple other little extra giveaways while we're going there too as well. But yeah, come hang out with us for your chance.
So go get your exclusive Star Child diadem. That'll be available that Friday. Go get that from one of the partners for watching for an hour, and then head over to us and we'll do our giveaway.
Yeah.
You just be getting all the things.
I know, you can just get all the things that day. So yeah, that's going to be it for episode 7 here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. And like I said before, let us know what you think. You can email us at tennotalk@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So I think that's it for us. And next week we'll be back with episode 8.
What?
I know.
So close to 10 episodes.
We are moving right along. So yeah, so have fun. Stay safe. Kill all the baddies. Take down the stalker and don't let him kill you. And until next time, stay safe, Tenno. TennoTalk is a weekly Warframe podcast produced and edited by Rebecca and Jeremy Goodrich. Warframe is created by Digital Extremes. Music for the podcast is provided by Purple Planet Music, and the Or to Sound clip provided by Digital Extremes Fansite Kit. You can email the show at tennotalk@gmail.com and reach us on Twitter at tenno_talk. You can also join us live on Twitch at TennoTalk on Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern. You can download the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and most major podcasting apps. Make sure to stop by the website and check it out, tennotalk.com, There you can find podcast episodes as long as information on the Capture a Contest and lots of other fun stuff. If you like the show, be sure to rate us and leave a review. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week with episode 8.